Alhamdulillah, wa salatu wassalam ala Rasulillah. Amma ba'd. I'll try to take some questions now. In the night time with the time that we have. Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you. Barakallahu fikum wa waffaqakum li kulli khair. Ameen. عليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله يحييكم, الله يوفقكم, الله يحفظكم. طيب, inshallah we're good. Hopefully you're good as well. Bidnillah. Assalamu alaikum. Being converted back into a masjid. Thoughts on the Hagia Sophia being converted back into the masjid. Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, I had the chance to visit the Hagia Sophia when I was in Turkey. Very, very, very interesting place. Very beautiful place. Obviously, for me, being someone who loves history so much, it's a very, very special experience. To be honest with you, I think the more I think about that trip, the more grateful I am, and how monumental of a place and a time in which the Hagia Sophia was converted, how it was, all right, for Muslims and for Christians alike, the whole world, all right. But we don't want to get into history lessons with regards to Istanbul, Constantinople, Constantinople, Mehmed II, Muhammad Fatih, all right, the Ottomans, etc. It's a long history discussion, and the people say the fall of Constantinople, but nothing fell. It was actually the rise of it. That was a tremendous event in history for Muslim and Christian alike. Tremendous. And nothing was the same afterwards. And that was a great, great, great victory for the Muslims, all right? The Hagia Sophia being one of the largest buildings in Europe at the time. It may still be. It may still be, all right? So what do you mean by converted into a mosque? With regards to, it says converted, being converted back into a masjid. Meaning currently, now, or then? Please explain exactly what you mean being converted back into a masjid. Meaning they have intentions of making it into a masjid now, after it was place for tourism and scenery. Inshallah, please explain exactly what you mean by that. Jazakallah khairan. What's the ruling on unisex clothing? It's permissible. There's nothing wrong with unisex clothing. And there are some hadiths that give certain meanings for certain things that are unisex. That's fine, inshallah ta'ala. There's nothing wrong with that. Well, what do you say about going to Hajj in COVID-19 period? If you're not afraid, you want to put your trust in Allah, Bismillah. If you want to take precautions, that's permissible as well. Wallahu alam. Yes, they're going to make it into a masjid now. Turkey ruled it. Okay, khairan inshallah. Well, of course, we're always for building mosques or masjids. There's no doubt about that. The most beloved place to Allah is the masjid. As long as there's no type of prohibited act, nothing which is going to be impermissible, no type of violation of anything sacred in Islam, and so be it. Inshallah ta'ala. The rulers of that country, hopefully they have that which is best in their minds, in their interests for the people, for Islam. Khairan inshallah. As far as if there's going to be something that's prohibited, something that's going to turn into a vice, then that's a different story. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Obviously, there's a different discussion with regards to a mosque being visited, a masjid being visited by non-Muslims, tourists, so on and so. That's a different discussion. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala surely knows best. Wallahu alam. Tayyib. Says, yes, Ataturk turned to a museum and Erdogan reversed it after 80 years or so. Yeah, that's a long discussion. Like I said about the museums, tourist attractions. Alhamdulillah, it being turned back into a masjid. Inshallah khair. Inshallah khair. How is the grave restricted and made uncomfortable and the soul punished if the body is dead and the soul has left the body? Khair inshallah ta'ala. First and foremost is affairs of the unseen. Some of them we understand linguistically. But the reality of it, we can never get and understand 100%. And that's because it's unseen. Ghaib is not the same as the shahada, all right? So the life of this world is not the same as the life of the afterworld. The life of this world, which is seen, is not the same as the life which is unseen. There are words that we understand, angels, words that we get, life, death, rising, punishment, the word. But the reality, the modality, that's something that's unknown to us. So that's the general principle. Bidnillahi ta'ala, it's very simple, very easy, and that is the soul is returned back to the body. In the hadith of Bara bin Azib and Sunan Abi Dawood, the soul is extracted, and confirmation, obviously in the Quran, وَالنَّازِعَاتِ غَرْقًا, Allah talks about the nazi'at, okay, all right, and what they do and how they extract and pull out, and the soul is placed back into the body, and rewarded or punished. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala surely knows best. Let's take a question from YouTube. States, NH, Toronto, Canada. Assalamu alaikum Mufti. I have irregular long menses, and I was wondering how many days I should wait before I start Salah again. Inshallah ta'ala, play it safe. Make it 8-day menstruation. 8 days, inshallah. And the remaining days in the month, 22 days. Or 21 days, inshallah ta'ala. Obviously, that's Hijri. Gregorian calendar is different. Let's say you make 8 days out of the month you're menstruating, and consider the rest of the month to be pure and clean. And all other things that are impermissible for a mincing woman are permissible for you, even if the blood continues to flow. 8 days, inshallah ta'ala, make that the basic standard. And there are other ways of doing it as well, such as comparing the irregular bleeding and the days with regards to your family members, your mother, your sister, your daughter, your aunt, etc. But to keep it simple and easy and safe, if you made a maximum of 8 days, and the men should not be longer than that, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. That's in brief. Wallahu alam. Next question states, right, SM London, UK, how do you know if an opinion is shadh in fiqh? Sometimes it's relative and subjective. Shadh to one person, qawl rajih to another. Shadh because it goes against a madhab or 4 madhabs, normal according to someone else. That's relative. There are many different views. The scholars say it's shudud, qawl and shadh. And there are other times in which it's the majority of the scholars in Abu Hanifa, and they don't call Abu Hanifa shadh, or Shafi'i, or Malik, or Ahmad and Ishaq. So that's a subjective question. This is very tricky. And if a lot of the ulama held the view that something is not obligatory, and Hassan al-Basri says that it is, or Tawus says that it is, you'll find Nawawi or this scholar say this, wuhu shudud. Or Albani was the only one who said it. Shawkani was the only one who said that the sutra is wajib was shudud. What's the difference between shadh and qala bihi fulan? Something I haven't understood yet. As far as if it's overwhelming, jamahir al-ulama, and the adillah is strong, and one isolated person took something, and he did not depend upon strong proof, strong evidence, or it may not have any dalil for his view, then you can say shudud, and that qawl is shadh. That's not the same as a view that a small minority of scholars have adopted, even if it's one of them, and the proof is strong, the proof is clear, and the adillah of the jumhur, of the jamahir, is weak, it's vague, it's muhtamal. All right, that's a different story. Understand this, inshallah ta'ala, comprehend this. It's the difference. The strength of the adillah, the lack of the adillah, versus the majority and the minority, 1 or 2 people saying it, so on and so forth. Everyone understand this? Wallahu alam. Tayyib. Next question says, AB London, UK. Is it permissible to try to stop yourself from passing wind to prevent breaking your wudu, especially if you have gas issues? In general, you should never stop your body from the natural way. The natural way. But if it's a time which is going to be very difficult to find wudu water, very difficult to stop the airport, take off your shoes, and it doesn't cause your body that much discomfort, it's one thing. But if you have constant issues, constant passing of wind, constant problems, then no. because your body is not normal, it's abnormal, and you're just going to pass wind again, and you have a rukhsa. There's an allowance for you to make wudu and pass wind and still pray. All right, in the necessary details. You can find that question answered in this as well. Wallahu alam. Try it. Next question states, AB, Toronto, Ontario. I've been seeking knowledge for some time now, but I need to focus on my dunya to sustain myself. Should I continue seeking knowledge and Allah will suffice me, or should I take some time to earn rizq? In my experience, as I focus on talab al-ilm as a single individual, I've been provided rizq from Allah, but I fear for future responsibilities I'm going to have. Please advise. Keep seeking knowledge and put your trust in Allah and allow Him to provide for you. Allow Him to make a way out for you. Inshallah ta'ala. And if you want to make a balance, then you make a balance. 70-30, 60-40, 80-20. But make the ilm the majority. And allow Allah Azza wa Jalla to give you that rizq and to give you that sustenance and give you that provision. That's my personal advice. And Allah knows best. Khair, inshallah. Alright. We're going to stop here. Jazakumullahu khairan. You guys take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.